Hey yo, it's Vondo. We're just about a week late with this little first weekend, playthrough and our thoughts. Won't say it's a full review because the beta isn't completely done yet, but I played it a bit. I did not hit any of the level caps, but my main hurdle of enjoyment for the beta was the technical issues, like the technical side of things. Because first of all, the audio was bugged and shocked, but I'll get into that later. But to start every match, especially on Hotel Royale, I would get, a big, packet burst, and that would be like the first death of every match in Hotel Royale. It happened on Gavutu as well. It didn't happen on Red Star, surprisingly, but on Hotel Royale and Gavutu, I had a packet burst to start the match, and just wasn't fun because, with that packet burst, that delay of a second or two, it's gonna get you killed in Call of Duty every time, and that happened just around every match. Wasn't very fun, and of course, the high latency throughout the games. Another thing on the technical side would be the spawns, but betas always have bad spawns these games when they launch, so that didn't shock me at all. But the game wasn't technically sound at all in the beta. And when it comes to the audio being shocked, yes, muffled gun sounds at close range with unsuppressed weapons, and then at long range, they're loud as hell. Like, everything just doesn't make sense. And of course, you have no footstep audio at all, and I don't think this was intentional, because if it was, then why would dead silence be in the game? I'm telling you right now, in the second weekend, they're going to make the footstep audio, they're going to increase it a bit. They may go overboard, they may not, but you're going to be able to hear footsteps in the second weekend of the beta, because there's no way they intentionally put dead silence in the game and the footsteps be this quiet. I just don't see it happening. And when it comes to audio presets, the EQ sets they have, they only had 4 of them. They typically have I believe it's like 6 or 8. So they were mixing that. They were missing those as well. You had boost high, boost low. Those were missing. When it came to the settings, settings weren't 1-to-1 compared to Modern Warfare when it comes to this engine, but it could be some of the game mechanics, making things feel a bit off. So yeah, settings didn't feel exactly 1-to-1, but it could be the game mechanics just throwing a wrench into things. And speaking of some gameplay mechanics, because I'm gonna do a little bit of balance, a little bit of gameplay. Suppression, not the biggest fan of it, but if they're gonna keep it in, I recommend they tone it down a bit. And they move that to some attachments. When it comes to armor, I don't think it should be in the game. Well, they got 2 options: either it's a kill streak, or they should remove it. And if they make it a kill streak, they have to reduce its effectiveness, because it is way too effective. You didn't run into it that much in the first weekend because not everyone was a high level yet, but I'm telling you, once more people start hitting the level caps, you're gonna run into armor. It's gonna be a lot more annoying. It gives you a lot more health. You're gonna suck up a lot of shots, and yeah, not very fun to deal with. I think it should be moved to a kill streak in the weekend, and it can just be removed altogether, because it's multiplayer, not Warzone. And when it comes to balance, they got some clear, choices and concerns. For me, it's the tier 2 with radar. Radar gives you a traditional mini-map. The red dots appear when players fire an unsilenced weapon, which is all fine and dandy. The issue is, this is the clear-cut winner in tier 2. There's no other perk they're going to show in this next weekend, or at launch, is going to beat this perk out. I just don't see it. They made a crutch perk. They've talked about not making crutch perks in the past, but they've done that right here. It's kind of like the same obvious decision as last year with Black Ops Cold War and their wild cards. You get a couple extra perks, you get 2 secondaries, an extra primary, or a few more attachments compared to 4 extra perks. The choice is obvious right there. It is obvious. I don't know why they're doing this, but if they want to make a crutch perk and have crutch attachments, go ahead, knock yourself out. But this is the clear-cut winner in tier 2. Don't see any other perks beating it out. And that would be, a balance issue. When it comes to the visibility of the game, yeah, it's not good. Again, this is the same issue that Modern Warfare 2019 had. And the issue with this one is you got some weirdly lit areas. It's very hard to peer into these rooms and windows, even at close range. When you're talking about distance, then I can understand why it's hard to see folks. But even in close range engagements, it'll be very hard to spot enemies, very hard. And it's not because they're all using the same, character models for the operators. It's not that. It's just that they're hard to see and they're blending in. For example, Pachinova on Gavutu, with those green and browns, they blend in with the foliage that people love to head glitch on. Yeah, it's gonna be difficult to see people at times. Very difficult. Don't know what they're gonna do when it comes to the lighting and the character models, but they could use some adjustments right there. And of course, just the overall weather effects. I think they gotta tone them down just a little bit. You got that weird haze on Gavutu, and of course you have, you know, all the snow on Red Star. They gotta tone them down a bit. And when it comes to other effects like the gun smoke, muzzle flash, they gotta turn those down as well, because it is a bit much. It looks real pretty, it'll be real nice in the campaign, but for multiplayer it's a bit much, and it makes gameplay, you know, a bit less enjoyable, because, you know, you're shooting at someone and you just lose them because all the smoke's getting kicked up from your weapon and their weapon, and all these floaters in the background and the haze. It's a bit of a mess. It's a bit too much. I gotta tone that down a bit. And I believe that's all I got for the first weekend. And the games I was able to play, now, you know, that weren't a complete mess with the technical issues. Some of them are fun, some of them weren't. That's typically how it is. Well, I can't say I'm giving, you know, a full breakdown or a full list on why I liked the game or didn't like it, because I just dealt with technical issues all throughout the first weekend. So hopefully the connection is a lot better this upcoming weekend. I really hope it is, because I would like to play the game a bit more. But, you know, that packet burst, those spawns, I'm like, yeah, this is chalked. I'll just play 2K and Hollow Knight. So that's what I did during the week. But we're looking forward to weekend 2. You're gonna see some more broken stuff come out this week with the level caps going up. You're gonna see some players being annoying with armor. And I didn't mention this other field upgrade, but the Goliath, I mean, it gets stuck on a lot of things. I mean, I don't like lethal field upgrades, because, you know, that's giving, you know, players free kills, but you gotta do something to help the noobs out, and if the Goliath's helping the noobs get free kills, then so be it, I guess. It has a slow recharge rate, which is fine, so I can't complain about it too much. Like, I'd rather deal with that than having to deal with the gunfight of a player having armor and then taking, you know, a bunch of extra shots. Two little things to conclude this video. One, I've noticed some weird issues with the textures on Gavutu and Hotel Royale. I had on-demand text streaming on and off, and these issues were still persistent. They would load in, not all the way, they would flicker on and off. They had weird issues with Gavutu and its final kill cams being in slow motion, and Hotel Royale, it's just the textures flickering on and off. There's a spot on Gavutu where the textures, you know, partially load in, they're just kind of glitchy on the map. So hopefully little things like that get cleared away. And last but not least, they have to adjust the score for some of these maps on game modes, because when it came to Team Deathmatch, Hotel Royale score is too low, and of course Red Star score is too high. I would honestly flip them, because Red Star has the highest score with about 225, and Hotel Royale is like 120. I would flip those. Actually, I would bump up Red Star to 150, because it's going to have a lot more players on it. But put that at 150, and put Hotel Royale at 225, or maybe even 250, because even with 120 kills, yeah, those matches would just fly by like 4 or 5 minutes. So bump that up a bit. 225 is probably the sweet spot to get in that 6-7 minute range. I believe 150 would be a good spot for Red Star as well. Gavutu was perfect with 200, and yeah, those are the scoring issues they gotta iron out, because it didn't make any sense why Hotel Royale, one of the more faster playing maps with that player count, is, you know, twice as short compared to Red Star. Didn't understand that very much. But that's all I got out the way. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all stay safe. I will see you on weekend 2 and weekend 3, and I'm out.